This is the moment we've all been waiting for, a Canada versus USA final in best on best hockey. After a crazy comeback win against Finland, Canada advanced to the gold medal game while Team USA made tidy work of Slovakia to set up the matchup that everyone anticipated heading into this tournament. With a magnitude of what's at stake along with the current political tensions between these two nations, this is shaping up to be one of the biggest hockey games of all time. Both teams have had a different path to this spot, so let's take an in-depth look of how both will try to expose one another to win a gold medal. Let's start with the path of victory for Team USA. Now, the narrative, without a doubt here, is that the States are looking for revenge. After falling just one OT goal short to Canada last year, they're looking for redemption in the gold medal game. Last time they were without Quinn Hughes, and so this go-around, they, along with many, think that that could be the difference maker in a game expected to be airtight. Now, because these teams are so equal in terms of skill and talent, a lot of this will come down to structure and execution to determine who flinches first. Let's start with how the US will look to create offense. Again, it starts with the back end and their creativity high in the zone. We talked about it in previous videos covering the games, but because of the mobility of guys like Quinn Hughes and Zach Werenski, you'll see them interchange with forwards frequently high in the zone with scissor routes or tiny seam passes to create defensive breakdowns. Another way they'll try and get Canada running around is with this high crawl play. Watch as Matthews carries this puck up towards the blue line. Werenski on the weak side is going to activate downhill, and you get a grade A look that leads to a goal. That is with possession, but then you have Team USA's forecheck, which has been a staple of their game going back to last year. They play a straightforward physical style that gave Canada fits at times during the Four Nations. We saw this firsthand against Slovakia and what it looks like at its best. You got two Kachucks here coming in hot. The Bash brothers. Matthew as the F1 takes the body. Brady comes in to collect the puck and centers it out to Eichel, who's all finesse. Vanessa Hudgens, they call him, and that's how USA can impose their physicality with their finesse side of the game. Because of their heavy forwards, they can win pucks down low, go low to high, and then transition into this 2-3 type of style to create havoc. Team USA is very good at retrievals as well, so they can wear down Canada more than any other team in this tournament, and that's the element that Canada has to prepare for as well. Despite two amazing comeback wins, Canada hasn't really been outplayed at all in this tournament. They just haven't spent extended zone times defending, as Finland took the lead off of special teams and then parked the bus for 40+ minutes. Team USA will dictate stretches of this game and push the pace. Next, defensively, if Team USA wants to win gold, they should somewhat take a peek at how Finland stifled Canada at times in the neutral zone. Finland ran a 1-2-2 neutral zone forecheck that had a lot of success at times during the semifinals, and the key was staying above the speed of Canada. You see it here with the McDavid line. McKinnon gets the puck on the wing while Celebrini comes up the middle with a ton of speed, but the Finnish checker stays above him and cuts it off. That forces McKinnon to hold on to the puck, and now everyone is caught standing still at the blue line. We'll get to how Canada bypassed this in a moment, but we're going to see something similar from the U.S. as we saw it last year in the Four Nations as well. Against Canada's best players, Team USA made it a mandate to stay above both McDavid and McKinnon on set breakouts, and where I think they'll have more success than Finland is how far up the ice Team USA will attach onto McDavid. You see here last year when they swing down deep with McDavid, the gaps are way tighter. They don't even let him get going downhill without someone in his face right away in his own end. Finland, on the other hand, were a bit too passive. They were okay with backing off of Canada in the zone in order to clog up the neutral zone, but by then, once McDavid got possession, he already had way too much speed. If USA wants to shut him down, they'll look to copy the formula of what worked in Four Nations by attaching to him earlier in Canada's zone. The next to maybe most important path to victory for Team USA is their special teams, specifically the penalty kill. Team USA has not been scored on at all in this tourney while on the kill. Two reasons for this. First is the face-offs. If you look at the face-off leaders in this tournament, 3 of the top 4 players are all Americans. You got Dylan Larkin, Vinny Trocheck, and Dwayne "The Brock" Nelson are all over 63% on the draw. So at the start of any penalty kill on either the left or right side, there's a good chance they're winning that draw and sending it down the ice to start the kill. The next reason is their entry defense. The States use a 3-1 where they create a full wall while the last man back retreats in anticipation of a dump-in. In this tournament, they have been flawless at stopping teams at the line line, as once they force a kick-out pass to the wing, Team USA's penalty killers are really good at closing in on the puck carrier and then shutting down any options nearby to inevitably force a turnover. That being said, they have not played a power play like Team Canada's. On entries, Canada likes to use a drop with MacKinnon and McDavid. If MacKinnon doesn't like what he sees, he drops it back to McDavid, who's coming in at a million miles an hour. The wall of three killers have to find a way to force McDavid to kick it out wide and not allow clean entries. That's a lot easier said than done because the guy is a mutant. If Team USA wants to keep this nuclear power play off the board, it is imperative they win the draw, send it down the ice, and then shut down the entries, because once this bad boy gets set up, it is nearly unstoppable. That brings us to Team Canada's game plan, but before we do that, we got to shout out our sponsor for today's video, which is SeatGeek. SeatGeek is the #1 rated ticketing app with over 28 million downloads. There's more than 70,000 listed events, from sports to concerts to festivals and more. The way it works is simple. You browse seating on a scale of 1 to 10, look for the green, which indicates the best deals, and voila, you got yourself a good pair of tickets. The best way to use it is before a game on the app on your phone, where you can snag some unreal last-minute deals. The Winter Olympics are here, but this summer the World Cup is on, and you can get tickets right now through SeatGeek. You know they hooked us up with a code to get you some great deals too, so if you hit the link in the description to download the app, it'll automatically apply the code HOCKEY2026 so that you can get 10% off your next pair of tickets. I use SeatGeek for every live event I go to, and I go to a lot of them for the channel. It's the best way to experience a game live on a great deal. So get the app, use the code, and enjoy your next game with SeatGeek. Now, coming back to Canada's game plan, let's start with their power play. The Canadians have the best power play percentage in this tournament. They're 7 for 16, and even without Sidney Crosby, Celebrini has fit in perfectly. Now, the U.S. plays a diamond PK, which we've seen how Canada can expose several times, both in these Olympics and last year during the Four Nations. The go-to play is the down low and a cross move, but we saw firsthand versus Finland how they take advantage of what their opponent gives them. On the first power play goal, Finland completely took away the bumper and cross seam pass. So they used their bomb from the point to hammer one home and got some help from Tippy Longstock and himself and Sam Reinhart. The other area that they're going to look to win on the power play is along the wall. 50-50 pucks along the wall are cues for penalty killers to get aggressive, but they're also an opportunity to take advantage of a temporary break in structure. We saw it in the game-winning goal against Finland. It's a puck low on the rim. Celebrini knows that the killers are going to get aggressive, seeing that his back is turned to the play, so he instantly rips it out to the slot. It makes its way over to McDavid, and now the killers are chasing the play to get back in position. Once you get killers chasing, seams open up, and magic ends up happening. The dog Nathan MacKinnon gets the game-winning goal. If Canada gets set up, this will be the detail that wins them the special teams battle. Next, we'll shift over to Canada's strategy when even strength. It is no secret, their bread and butter is on the rush. They lead the entire tournament in terms of rush chances per game. In this tournament, we've seen Canada generate off the rush in a number of different ways. We've seen them use these little 2-foot slip plays to support, to work their way through the layers while maintaining possession, but we've also seen them stretch the zone by sending a winger to the far blue line to create space underneath so that their players can come up the middle with a ton of speed and space. Against Finland, we also saw them leverage the space that they were given early in the zone by building that speed to get in behind the layers of D while also providing a support option. That being said, Canada will be forced more than ever before to chip pucks in, so they must win the battle below the goal line and play a heavier style if they want to create better looks. Even with pucks being dumped in, we've seen firsthand how this Canadian team wins puck battles and creates off the cycle. The crazy part is that the best line on the team is still the Big Mac line when it comes to these types of plays. McDavid, MacKinnon, and Celebrini are incredibly dangerous off the cycle and in this triangle formation. Usually with either MacKinnon or McDavid down lower on the half wall, Celebrini is the trigger man. Because of how great Celebrini is at finding these pockets of space within coverage, he's the perfect fit for those two, as they have the ability to suck in 1 or 2 defenders with their presence. For that reason alone, it may go down as one of the greatest lines ever assembled, and if Canada finds a way to win, that line will be right in the middle of it. Now, defensively, Canada has to do all the same things as the U.S. in terms of protecting the neutral zone, but if Canada wants to limit USA's play in the trenches and avoid extended zone time, then Jordan Binnington's puck skills play a huge factor. This was the case last year as well, and is probably why they're so comfortable with him back there in the crease. but he acts almost as a third D-man that will help them get out of their zone quickly. He is crucial in helping Canada's defense avoid the pressure of an F1 breathing down their neck and establishing the forecheck. If Canada wants to avoid spending a lot of time on their own end, Binnington will be a huge part of that. However, like I said earlier, there's going to be times in this game where Canada is forced to spend extended time in their end defending, which is something they haven't had to do. Now, we've seen them use this hybrid style of defense where it's a zone coverage down low, and then when the puck is up high, it's a man-on-man coverage. However, this will be a key area that'll make or break the success for Team Canada. Because of how well Team USA can move as a 5-man unit, thanks to Hughes and Werenski on the same pair, their coverage has to be airtight. We've seen what happens to defenders when they try to defend Hughes in a man-on-man situation. It doesn't end up going too well. And how Canada sorts out their coverage on these low to high plays will be critical to winning this game. Overall, the margin for error in a game like this is going to be so small. This is as 50-50 as a game gets. Of course, there's certain elements that could totally change the dynamic for the game on either side. I think on the USA side, Connor Hellebuyck and Quinn Hughes have to be the biggest X factors that can swing a game for the U.S. And for Team Canada, a big one is Sidney Crosby. We don't know if he's going to play in the gold medal game, and if he does, how healthy will he be? But there's an intangible with Sid that is undeniable in these big moments, and his status will be huge for the psyche of Canada. At the beginning of the tournament, I said I thought Team USA finally gets it done. As a Canadian, my mind says US, but my heart says Canada. The Canadians have always found a way to get it done in these types of moments, and we're going to find out in the gold medal game if the story changes or if history repeats itself. So who do you have in the gold medal game? Let me know in the comments down below. We're going to be breaking down the full game afterwards and what went wrong and right for both teams. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so that you don't miss a single thing.